Oh boy. I'm gonna invite some Facebook friends. Well, I need to... Hello, everyone, and welcome. Yeah. Alright. This is on... You're listening to Wisdom Top Mentor interviews. So this is called Mobile Social Audio Podcasting Equipment Troubles. Mobile Social Audio Podcasting Equipment Troubles. This is episode 9 of Wisdom Top Mentor interviews on Spreaker. Social podcasting. Just a side note, one of my students from China, who's going by the name Freya Udue Juensi. I forgot, why am I forgetting her? Cornelia, that's the English name she gave herself in China. She just posted an image of a pink brass knuckles, and I said, "You mean pink paperweight?" But because she's not from the United States and hasn't been here yet, I think she didn't get it. Because one of the ways to get around having a brass knuckles is or selling them in some of the shops, right? Is to sell them as paperweights. At least that's how I was able to buy them. Is because they were listed under or they were sold as paperweights. Okay. Yes, I'm distracted. I am very distracted. Alright. So, on August 15th or somewhere around there of 2022, I got an email invitation to be a top mentor on the Wisdom app, Wisdom Social Audio, which its parent company is Social Audio Inc., Social Audio Incorporated. It's a good run. I'm going to go back eventually. I stopped using Wisdom and my other favorite social podcasting app. Both free, by the way. Wisdom is free, and Call-In is the other one that called itself social podcasting. So Wisdom is under the category of social audio, and Call-In also goes under the same designation as Spreaker here, as social podcasting. Now let me just get right down to the brass tacks. What are these troubles? Being a mobile social audio podcaster, broadcasting, podcasting equipment troubles. So a lot of people tend to use even the apps. They use them at home. They sit down in their boring fucking desks at home somewhere, and set up their whatever those fucking microphones. What is everybody's using now? Everybody's using the same mics. And I'm sure, and yes, they're great microphones because they get really great sound, much better sound than this JLab Go Work headset that I have on now that's made for phone calls. Now, I spoke to my brother Malin once, and when I was talking to him for the first time on this with this headset, he said, "Wow, you sound really, really clear. What are you talking on?" And so it's really good for that, and for I'm sure you could probably use it for gaming. And it's just because it tends to cut out the microphone itself, the frequency response. It really makes it very trebly, very high pitched. It cuts through a lot of things. It's one of the reasons I like it, because while having this binaural audio in the background, which I'll turn down even a little bit more right now. My voice cuts through it because of this mic. So that's just one of the troubles, right? Is that it's basically microphone and recording, the recording equipment, the microphones. Let's just go there. It's microphones is the equipment that I'm really dealing with, because right now I'm using my Galaxy S21 something, right? It's a FEG5, I don't know. And sometimes I use my iPhone 14 Pro something. And one of the biggest issues I have is getting the right sound. And as far as sound goes, no matter what microphones I use, the sound is amazing on call-in social podcasting. The sound is also reasonably good here on Spreaker, even better than call-in. Much better than call-in, the audio recording quality. And both of them are far, far, far better than the recording quality that you get from the Wisdom app. If you listen to any of the previous recordings on here on Spreaker, which one of the features of Wisdom, the Wisdom app, is that when you do your talks on Wisdom, you can, and if you don't know what Wisdom is, you should look it out. You can follow me. If you go to my Twitter at UniquilibriuM, and you'll see right at the top there's an Ask Me a Question thing, and, you know, and then there's something that says you're one of the wisest people I know. But one of the things about Wisdom... Oh, I'm tired. It's 5 o'clock in the morning. 5:09. One of the things about... let me back up a little bit to figure out what the heck I was saying. So, yeah, it's equipment, recording quality. Oh, yeah, so one of the features of Wisdom is that when you do your talks, they are automatically available as recordings that you can play back. There's no wait. As soon as you end your talk on Wisdom, it's available as a recording immediately. And the other feature they have that's great, which I really think is an amazing feature if, you know, we can get the sound quality right, is the ability to download your own audios from your profile, and then you can re-upload them anywhere you want. So I did a nice long run of that. As a matter of fact, I did a nice long run from basically September of 2022 until February 1st of 2023. So, you know, what are we looking at here? September, October, November, December, January, February. So 5 months. And I say September, even though I started around August 20th, I believe was my first recording on Wisdom. So the problem is that very often in the live podcasting or live social audio events at Wisdom, there are a lot of technical difficulties. Like everybody say, you're going to the Matrix, or you're cutting out there, or I didn't hear you, or what, and it's all that kind of technical difficulty shit. But that's not really so much a problem, except that also, regardless of what equipment, and I'm specifically talking about microphones once again that I use, the download quality, the audio, is not so good at all. And I have 9 episodes previously just here on the Wisdom Top Mentor interviews section or show on my UniquilibriuM broadcasting here on Spreaker. I have several different shows that I established them a while ago, and now I'm beefing them out with better content. In my opinion, better content, because I'm mainly focusing on World Reading Club, and then with, you know, Hakeem-Ali-Bocas-Alexander show is, well, everything is me being me, but sometimes I do tame myself or hold back when I'm doing certain things. Like, for example, World Reading Club right now is going to be totally family friendly and clean, unless, of course, in the book that I'm reading, or the paper that I'm reading, or the article or blog, whatever has something in it, I might use the fucking F-bombs. Sorry for your ears. Yeah, but the audio, that basically the audio is terrible with most of the microphones. I think I might have said earlier all of them, but I think there's a few of them that come out a little bit clearer when I use them. And when I go back to Wisdom, I'm going to test this out again, and I'm going to continue to upload them to Wisdom Top Mentor interviews here on Spreaker. And you can hear. The reason I'm saying this is because I went and listened to one of the most recent one, the one right before this Wisdom Top Mentor interview, and I think I was doing a World Reading Club episode. I was reading some scientific paper, and I was playing it back, and it sounded like shit. So one of the things I have to do is I have to go back and take that audio. I'm going to download it from Spreaker, put it into Audacity. Going to upload it into Audacity. I'm going to raise the volume of it and maybe put a binaural beat in the background and call it Love. And so, and then just upload it. So I'm going to replace the audio of every time I'm going to go through my. Well, you know what? I'm going to get somebody to do that for me. I have somebody in mind who will be able to do that for me. I can get some interns. So I got the perfect person. But anyway, the thing here's the issue. Here's the troubles with being a mobile social audio, social podcasting practitioner. I'm a podcaster. I'm a broadcaster, right? So that, and I've been a guest, and I've been on podcast since 2007 with Blog Talk Radio on Shandy Davies' Karma Cafe. And so I'm no stranger to this, but the equipment and the microphones and everything like that weren't so difficult before to get the right kind of sound. There's something definitely not cool with the Wisdom app on that end. And besides the fact that I think that just like in any of these social audio, social, so there's different ways to call them. So call in, even though it's a lot different in the features and everything than Spreaker, it also identifies itself as social podcasting. Wisdom identifies itself with the designation of social audio, as is the name of the parent company, Social Audio Incorporated. And another one I used for a little while is called Breakout, and it calls itself an audio social network. And then there's things like, for example, there's Fireside, which includes video. And video is only for the presenter, the host of the show. And then there's the older one, Clubhouse. And I'm sure that there's all kinds of different ones, but I didn't get into all of that stuff. Excuse me. Most of them have a better interface with their software interface with the hardware than does Wisdom, as far as I can tell. And also I realize that this JLab Go Work headset with boom mic on it is very trebly, and you can hear my breaths all the time, and when I sniff, because I'm very stuffy from all this dust around here. But very few microphones that I use do it justice. Now remember, this is because I'm a mobile, on the go. Like right now, I'm not even going to be here where I am for much longer. I may take a nap, but I might go to Lucky Cup and start doing some work. The thing is I need to carry my gear different places, and I have to unpack a bunch of stuff. I like the fact that I can go sit down at a cafe, and within minutes, I'm set up to podcast from wherever I am. This one is being recorded live, so I don't edit and any mistakes out or anything like that. Everything I love live. That's my thing. Live. I love live. But how did I say it just now? I love live. So live audio, like talk radio, newscasting, broadcast, that stuff I love. Just being there live. I'm usually unscripted, probably the 99.999999999999999999999% of my my podcasts and broadcasts are unscripted. And when I say unscripted, I mean, unless it's like a reading, of course, right? Come on, duh. Right, but whenever I get on, I want to talk about something. There's no script. I just start talking about what's happening and what I'm dealing with, which is right now what I'm dealing with is these issues. Let me see. I don't think I posted this one to Facebook. Oh yeah, I did. Live podcast, social audio podcasting equipment troubles, episode 9. Oh, so this is 9 on Spreaker. Okay. But it just doesn't fare too well. So again, here's just a recap here, because I don't need to fuss over this too long. Now, Wisdom is a free app, so I don't normally complain. I can't complain about the fact it's fucking free and it has a lot of great features. It really does. One of the things that records a lot better than the main audio every single time for me are the, Ask Me Anything feature, where you can record up to 1 minute of an answer to people who ask you the question, either anonymously or not. And that's a feature that's great. What is the other great feature? Oh, the downloading, if I can figure that out. I just have to use certain equipment if I'm broadcasting on Wisdom. But that's the thing. For a person who's a mobile broadcaster, mobile podcaster, using our wireless technology to flit here and there and just, I like to fantasize and to romanticize myself as I'm like a war correspondent in the field commander Alexander out there, recording live and just in whatever environment. One of the things I like about this JLab Go Work headset, which is just about $50, I saw it at Walmart, it's just around $50 or something like that, is that it cancels out most of the noise in the background. So the noisier the environment I'm in, for the most part, it cancels out a lot of the stuff and focuses on my voice, because it's a unidirectional mic, boom mic. It doesn't have microphone ports or holes on the other side where my mouth is not. Right, so it's just facing directly to me. So most everything else then is concealed. It's nicely engineered so that not only does the software built into this device, the JLab Go Work headset, not only does the software deal with noise cancellation, but the actual physical hardware itself helps with that, with the microphone design. And I'm just guessing, just by looking at it from what I know about audio. And Wisdom also does that. Wisdom also has noise canceling feature that takes out a lot of stuff from the background and just focuses on your voice. So that's why I really like this mic. Now, I'm sure I've seen some gaming microphones, and I'll probably want to get one. I've just been reluctant because, well, they can get pretty wild and varying, and you got to find the right ones, because not all the connections work with what I'm doing. So that's another thing. But I do want to get a really nice, awesome, one of those crazy bulky looking gaming headsets that maybe has a better microphone than this. I don't know, but that's the thing. So very few pieces of equipment actually, sound really good on the Wisdom app. Most of the people... Oh, I know what the microphone is they're using. They're using Rodecaster mics. So that's what a lot of people are using. They use Rodecaster mics, and they're in their home office, and they got set up on the desk or whatever, to their laptop or their mobile device, and they got all their mixing board and all this other stuff like that. I don't do any of that shit. Eventually someday I'd love to, but just the lifestyle that I live, just always be on the go, getting up and wanting to just record and speak on the go, that doesn't work for me. That shit doesn't work for me. And so I'm still testing because I got back really heavy into the podcasting world again after I got back to the United States on September 4th of 2021. Almost a year after that, I got invited to Wisdom. So in August, I got invited to Wisdom, the end of August. Interesting, yeah, just about 11 months. Pretty much, a little more than 11 months after I got to the United States. And I like I said, I was on there for 5 months. And also on Callin I was on since May, but I deleted both apps from my device and just put them out of sight, out of mind, to not use them until some undisclosed time. Maybe I'll start again on Monday, which is the new Moon Day. Well, Moon Day is Monday, Monday is Moon Day. Moon magic and mindfulness with grace. So, no, I'm not going to do that. It won't be until at least March 1st, March 1st, yeah. You see what I did there? I had to figure out which month came after February. So I have to figure... Yeah, I'll go back at some point in time to Callin and Wisdom, which I'm just basically going to hack both of them. White hat hacking, by the way, which is my term. I'm probably not even using them the correct way that people talk about white hack and ethical hacking and all that stuff. I basically just use different types of free services for different parts of it that work for me and not necessarily everything. So, for example, I'm going to totally forget about Wisdom for now with the current equipment that I have. So it's my equipment limitations. And then only use Wisdom. I'm going to go on there and I'm going to ask myself questions anonymously, and I'm going to answer them. And I'm going to download those up to 1 minute audiograms, which are basically a video that shows a waveform moving back and forth to the sound of your voice, and a nice, beautiful images of wisdom, and a nice purple, all that. It's really beautiful. It's a great, fantastic feature. But I'm mainly going to use that to gain more traction on TikTok, which I don't use unless I'm using those audiograms. Also, YouTube Shorts, I don't do those unless I'm, doing unless I use the Wisdom audiograms there, and so on and so forth. I use the Wisdom audiograms for several things. So they're going to be a great thing for me to have conversations with myself. Or I could give that link and just start having a bunch of people ask me questions and use that and just answer those questions, and that'll be the main thing that I use it for. And every once in a while I might record. Well, I have to record a talk on there because you can't help but record the talks on there. You can delete them when they're done if you don't want them anymore, but on Wisdom, they're automatically recorded and you have the discretion to delete them afterwards. But I'm probably just going to use it just to fucking harass people and shit, be a cyberbully, and just be an all-around, MC narcissist supervillain. Because there's a bunch of fucking idiots in an echo chamber over there too, and it's just kind of stupid. It's so fucking boring. Whenever I've gone on there to start listening to people, maybe I've just gone way overboard in the shit that I'm doing. But I sit there and I listen to people as long as I can, and most of it just sucks. There's a few people who are great, like Graciela Moore. I love her. She is amazing. I just sang a little jingle earlier, Moon Magic and Mindfulness with Grace, because every day I use a book that she wrote and put together, which is called Moon Magic and Mindfulness with Grace, 2023 Manifestation Agenda Journal. The only journal you need to make and nurture plans, avoid burnout, and create fearlessly, by Graciela Moore. And I met her on Wisdom, and she's awesome. I met some other people over there that I thought were awesome, but one of the problems I had is that people would... So maybe this is not a thing. Maybe I just don't understand the culture, right? But whenever I use an idea that I hear from somebody on Wisdom or anywhere else, when I use it, I give them credit. if I deploy something, like, or Dan Kennedy says, swipe and deploy, right? When I swipe something from somebody and deploy it, while I'm deploying it, I will give credit to where I got it from, even if they're not the original source. I'll be like, yeah, this is who I heard it from. I don't know where they originally heard it from, or if it's their original thing, or if I know it's their original thing, I'll say so, right? But that's what I'll do. But several times over there, I've said things, and the first like dozen things that I said that people totally ripped off from me and started using on there without saying, oh yeah, I heard about this from Hakeem and I thought it was a good idea to do this. Nobody. And I've heard several people using my formats and copying several things that I do without being, hey, thanks for Hakeem for the guidance for that. I'm a fucking top mentor over there. I've never had that kind of accolade anywhere. I can't even get a verified badge on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook or any of those other things. And out comes this new app, Wisdom, and they're automatically like, hey, you're a top mentor. And you know what? Top mentor, and I have an ambassador badge over there because I bought so many fucking people into Wisdom. And just like over into Call-In. And just like over into Breakout when I was using it. And just like over into Clubhouse, even though it's older. So I've actually brought people onto 4 different apps. And so it's not like what is it? It's not like I'm not that I'm not deserving of the accolades. I do work and people follow my crazy ass. Right? I have a lot of friends who are creepers. Sometimes I catch them in conversations. They say something. I'm like, there's only one way you would know that, and that's if you're creeping on my stuff and not saying anything about it. But I digress. There are lots of things over on Wisdom. People have stolen like really good ideas, which I don't mind. See, this is the thing. I don't mind that people take the stuff and use it, but like, yo, say what's up. You know, like, that's just give a credit. What do you think, you're going to lose followers or fans or whatever if you say that you got a good idea from somebody else? One of them was, I was going to create this directory, this Wisdom directory, that went to all the people that I listen to, my favorite people on Wisdom. And I told people about this. And before I could finish implementing it, a few of the people who I was going to include in the, and I was going to call it like WASP or something. It's like Wisdom. I forget what it is now because I don't give a fuck. But I was. Anyway, they started doing it on air. So they took my idea and they wrote down different people's show times and days that they would be on Wisdom. And then they would just announce them on their shows. So they totally took my idea to further themselves without saying anything about my contribution to it. While talking to them and in back channels, oh, that's a great idea. That's so great. I can't wait to be on your list and all that stuff. And then they just take it and deploy it. Right? While I'm trying to help them out. Because they're all like, oh, you mean so much to this community, Hakeem, and all this other fucking shit, right, that they say, and then they just take my ideas. That was, and that's like in the middle of my tenure over on Wisdom, like 2 months in. Before that, I've had so many ideas, at least half a dozen other, or even up to a dozen ideas that I've seen taken. Stolen. And there's a difference between stolen and swiped or taken, because they steal when you don't give credit to the people who inspired you. That's it. They're a bunch of fucking assholes because of that. So that's one asshole fucking thing about some of the people over there on Wisdom. The other thing is that it's very cultish and cliquish, just like high school. Right, and so a lot of the same people just follow the same people over and over again, and they don't expand out, they don't talk to anybody. But when I would do it, and I would talk about, then of course, then they start doing it. But do they say, I'm following Hakeem's lead, and this is really working for me? No. No, not at all. Not at all. But that's okay. right? So, where was I going with this? So, I will be on Wisdom at some point in time in the future to have conversations with, I was going to say fucking a bunch of idiots, but not everybody on there is. There's a lot of really well-meaning people on Wisdom who do great work, and who are really just down-to-earth, sweet people who, want to make a difference. But then there are a bunch of other... So, I will have some conversations on there, but lately I haven't even felt like having conversations on there, which is why I stopped. One of the reasons is because the creative director who contracts with my company, UniquilibriuM, Sarah Overman, I see her every single day, and so she definitely fulfills my social requirements that I personally have, because she's funny, she's intelligent, she's passionate, she's talented, she's hardworking, she's playful, she's fun, and again, she gets a lot of work done, and she gives me a lot of ideas, as well as being very good to look at. She's cute. So so having somebody like that to talk to all the time and get ideas from and do basically what I've been doing all the time and is, kind of really pulls me away from wanting to even be on the social audio and social podcasting to talk to people or to feel like I need to have my voice heard or something like that. Because I'll tell you the truth, Wisdom did that. It was at a time when I was getting really low. So one of the things, I was on call-in since May. I think it was like around May 20th. And Wisdom was like September 20th. Those dates are very interesting. I wonder why that's... I'll have to look at that in numerology and angel numbers. But it was... I remember when I was losing clients at One Life Fitness, Red Mill, because I'm just not a good employee, and I failed at being what they needed me to be, and so I took some time off and then I quit. So I took some time off in October because I got a job that pays me really well at Central 111 to work as their doorman, to check IDs, an ID checker, and I wanted to save money, and still am, to help my mom out. And then so then I quit in November, like early November, and all kind of other stuff was happening, and I was feeling low, and I was running out of money, and I put the little money I had from the job into the business, and one of my friends, Rene Cabrera, he and another guy, Rene Moran, who's an actor, they sent me a combined total of like $2,000 when I was in trouble in China to get back to the United States. And so I finished paying off Rene. I paid back like $1,400 already, but then I started running into money troubles because of losing I was losing clients at the gym. And then, at the same time, the kitchen at the Green Parrot that I was working at, doing also ID checker / doorman, the kitchen blew up. So now I no longer had that, like, extra, $360 a week, or $360 a week, yeah, something like that. So now no longer had that. Was that what it was? Let me see. Wait. 5 hours a night, 60 times 3. That's 180. No, 360. Yeah, it was only 180 a week. So $720 a month, plus whatever I was getting from my clients at One Life Fitness. Which, sadly, as a trainer, I was making less money than I was at the front desk, which was only paying me like $9.50 an hour when I first got back on September 4th of 2021. But so all these issues I was having, and I was on call-in, and one of the things I would do was I would go on call-in, and around 9 o'clock at night when I would start going to sleep, I would put it on and listen, and that would help me get to sleep. I was just having issues sleeping like that, so that's what I would do instead of drinking myself to sleep. I would listen to audio. And if there was nothing on, then I would hit recordings and play that. And so that really helped me to hear people live and having conversations with each other, real people having conversations with each other. And so when wisdom came along, that was really helpful to me because things were getting really dark in my soul. And so it was really great to be recognized with a gold badge and a check mark in it as a top mentor, right? And to get mentor coins. That's another good feature about it. I did mention earlier where, once you get like 6,000 mentor coins, you get a $25 that you can use as an Amazon gift card or Starbucks card or several other places, or you could donate it to a charity of your choice. So wisdom, look, it's not bad, but I probably should have retitled this something else, right? Like my equipment limitations in certain social audio platforms. Wisdom, right? Is just something about the software hardware interfaces that doesn't work as well with wisdom universally as much as I would like it to. Even Breakout, which sometimes the audio wouldn't record at all, and you couldn't tell if it wasn't recording or not, has a superior sound quality for across all of the microphones that I use, whereas Wisdom does not. Certain different microphones that I would use on Wisdom, it's just really cumbersome. Because like right now I'm hands-free, for example, right? I have the headset with the boom mic, and I can do a lot of other things. Other mics that I found, I had to either hold them in my hand or do other stuff that just didn't make it as convenient for all. Because like when I'm podcasting, sometimes like if I'm reading, I like to be able to scroll through stuff and use both of my hands, and generally get in there. Oh my God! Oh, why is this happening again? Oh, holy shit! Ladies and gentlemen, probably should say it now. I'm gonna die. Oh boy, fuck. No, really. I mean, not like we're all gonna die. Because that's what we're doing here on Earth. We're dying. I have a problem. Anyway, we'll talk about that some other time. Let's see, how much time have I been on here so far? Oh, good. Did I put the 1 hour demi-phase? Yeah, good. So that's cool. This won't be... I'll end it when the audio ends. But, oh man, this... breathe out there. Huh, that's weird. Alright. Well, I've been eating right, so I don't know. Maybe it was too much protein. I did eat a lot of chicken. So my requirements for being able to use an app, the sound quality has to be on point. And there's other features that make it a little bit better, a production, automatically, which is like, for example, watch, I can do this, right? Turn off the demi-phase production, the binaural beat that I created for the back of this, right? And let's play it again, right? So I can do that. I can play music if I wanted to in the back, which you can't do on Wisdom. Fine, because it's not built like that. It's unique. It's unique amongst all the other social audio, social podcasting platforms. That's another thing I'll give it. It's very much like, it's a dating app, basically. The founder, Dayo Akinrenati, her first app was a dating app. Wisdom is set up a lot like that. It puts people one-on-one. Like, it's just really intimate, and what they say, conversations that matter, right? There are great features about it. But when it comes to certain things, I've got to... Spreaker altogether, even though... Okay, so I pay for Spreaker. That's the other thing. I pay for it. $50 a month for the Anchorman plan. And so I'm paying for these features. I mean, I could use a free account, but I'll only get 15 minutes and a limited amount of storage, which actually is not so bad. I actually tested out that limitation, if it is one, and found that's not a big problem. It just means that, like in old school radio or television, if you weren't hearing a rerun being replayed, then if you don't listen to the episode within a certain amount of time, it's going to disappear from the platform, because I have to delete it to make room for other ones. So I tested that out, and that might be something I do at some other time for something else. I might open up another free Spreaker account separate from this one and just fucking go crazy. It's not like if you haven't already, Hakeem. But yeah, I just... So succinctly, let me wrap this up in as efficient as an explanation as possible. The problem is that I want to be able to use a headset like the JLab Go Work that I'm using right now, hands-free, Bluetooth plus cabled options. Right, I like both. Sometimes Bluetooth has a lag time that I don't want. Sometimes there's, for example, also if I'm using the Android device like I'm using now, the Samsung that I have, there are different connectivity issues with the Bluetooth. Like, for example, while I'm using the headset, I can hear the audio being played in my headset, but the microphone, the boom mic, is not picking up my voice unless I plug it in. Right? So the Bluetooth won't do it, but if I plug it in and turn off the Bluetooth, then the mic picks up my voice, registers my voice. Whereas if I'm using the Bluetooth, then I have to have the device in my hand or put my face close to it to speak to the microphone on the device, which is not bad because that device has a great sound range, a frequency response. You know, it's the devices record probably way more sound than even the human ear can hear. I don't know if they tuned it. I don't know what the specs are on the microphones on the device. But it at least covers the entire range of the human audio spectrum, the human hearing range. So, but I would like to be able to use like my JLab Go Work, another headset, and it was really inexpensive. That works really well, that I could use sometimes, but it doesn't have a boom mic. But I saw some on Amazon, as I said it, fuckers. On Amazon that, you can tell I'm part of the conspiracy theory ilk, right? That has a boom that's earbuds. But I can't wear earbuds for too long. The inside of my ears start getting sore, depending on which ones I'm wearing. Now this, who makes this? These are earbuds. I bought them from Best Buy. And who makes this? What is it? And my Bose headphones, the screw came out of it, so I haven't been able to use those. That one's really awesome. Why is this unmarked? So I don't even know what this generic ass fucking earbuds that I have in their cable, they're wired. But these work really well on different platforms. Also, as I previously mentioned, or I think I did, with the Beats, I have Beats Solo 3. They do really well. Even a better sound than the sometimes these JLab Go Work is this boom earbud device that I got from Five Below, which is a store that sells most of the things at $5 or below. It's called Five and Below. So the issue is that I'm going to continue to, and I think that it's also, you get what you pay for thing. Quality, commensurate. And the price sometimes for certain things go hand in hand. So I just have to get a good standard set of equipment that I can mobile podcast with. A good headset that I can be completely hands-free, that picks up the sound, that doesn't, every time I breathe in, you don't get that, right? Oh, my nose is still stuffed. But eventually I'll figure it out, because that's what I'm really doing all the time. As I'm broadcasting live and doing everything, I'm testing. And so far I usually use the JLab Go Work headset. Sometimes I use some of the other ones that I have, but sometimes it just doesn't come out right. So I think for now I'm going to stick to the sound that my friend Donald Dias says sounds like I'm an International Space Station. But there's a certain gear that across the board works the best. But even this headset on Wisdom, it sounds like shit when I download the recording or play it back. So it's just totally, the quality sucks. So that's really all I meant to say. Is that, all the great features that it has, I wish that Wisdom would improve its audio. After all, it's called Social Audio Inc., but is it just me? I don't know, man. People using their Roadcasters and other stuff like that, they're stationary setups. It's not a mobile setup, right? A lot of people have stationary setups that they use, even though some of these apps are only available on tablets and mobile devices. So maybe I need to check it out on a tablet. I don't know. I haven't used my tablet for a while. It's packed up, I think, in my guitar case at my brother's garage. So those are some of the things. So, like, I've just got to be able to be on the go and be able to bust out a piece of equipment and just get right into the podcasting. What I haven't done too much checking with, although I will, is I have the Galaxy, what do they call it? The Galaxy Buds, the Galaxy Pro something, the sound by AKG, right? I'm going to check out those at some point in time and see what the sound is like. But again, if I'm not on, I believe they have a built-in microphone themselves, but if I'm using the Android, then it reverts to, or what it defaults to the microphone on the device itself, the mobile device itself. Sometimes, not always, the Beats Solo 3 headphones, when I'm using them wirelessly, because I lost a cord for them, I can walk away from the device or move around and still speak, and it'll go into the microphone that's on the headset itself, which is great. Really great. But not all of them do that. So there's so many different things I have to figure out. And I have to figure out what is that issue, or if there's some setting I need to change in order to get everything into the headset microphone itself. I've toggled around with... Well, anyway, I've done a lot of troubleshooting, and it just seems to be software, hardware, interface challenges that most of the microphones have with Android devices. But I like Android. And the service that I'm using with the iPhone that I just got, my first iPhone ever, this iPhone 14 or whatever it is not the best. It's from Cricket Wireless, and it's not the best. But it's good enough for me to pull up sites and to be able to read for my technical news reading and do other stuff with it, and to be able to do things and show people stuff while I'm using my Android, my Samsung. So I have some very specific requirements, and obviously, I mean, I don't run into a lot of podcasters who are mobile podcasters. Most people think that they have to be in their house or in an office or in a studio with their Rodecaster or whatever the fuck other, trending microphone is going on now. They have to sit there in some boring four-walled fucking space all the time, devoid of other people, and podcasts like that. That's fine. Look, because you know what's happening? A lot of bigger companies or people who have the resources are basically recreating radio, like talk radio and other kind of shows like that through podcasting with these setups. Like with internet radio, Howard Stern went over there, right? That was like one of the evolutions of this, right? So the thing is, though, is that I have to really work out what exactly is going to be the best equipment across the board with the different devices that I have that are mobile. I hardly ever use my laptop as much as I would like to. I don't update my websites as frequently as I used to. I maintain them, but it's just only been in this last couple years. Well, I can safely say that I've just been getting back and learning things and figuring things out again since I got back to the U.S. in September of 2021. And I'm experimenting and figuring out how to continue to podcast in the best way possible. Now I realize I have to go back and replace a bunch of audio and a lot of the ones that I downloaded from Wisdom, because I just listened to it and it's just fucked, man. And I hate that, because you know what that does? If somebody goes and they see an interesting title in Wisdom Top Mentor Interviews, then what they're going to do is they're going to go there and be like, oh, this is shit! And they probably never want to listen again. Because that's what happens. It's like when people go to a web page and it doesn't load right away, they bounce away from it, right? So I've just got to... Right now, universally, the JLab Go Work microphone is one of the best for what I need it for. I use it most often. Every once in a while I'll switch, depending on how I feel, or if I don't need my hand, whatever, I don't know, right? There's so many different scenarios, so I've got to figure out this mobile social audio podcasting, broadcasting equipment troubles and limitations. But I'm getting there. I'm working it out. It's not that big of a deal. It's just I wish that everything was so compatible, right? That you could just plug anything into it. Like it's like just because you buy a different set of Legos, as long as they're Legos, they're still going to snap together. But that's not how all these different software and hardware interfaces work. A lot of stuff is made for iOS, right? Not for the Android-based systems. And so a lot of that software is just built out for the iPhones and stuff like that, the iOS, and then modified to make it available for the Android devices. So I'll figure it out. I haven't looked anything up. That's the thing. I've researched and looked at so many other things, but not podcasting equipment and the best for this, that. No, I haven't done that. Surprise. I just haven't made time. I haven't prioritized it, because I've been looking for the perfect microphone across the board. Is there one? I don't know. You tell me. So it's possible. I just, I'm not going to stop, though. I'm going to put out a lot of stuff that just sounds like straight fucking trash as far as the audio quality goes. I know that some of my content people can't even touch, simply because I have so many original ideas, or things that seem like they're original ideas, because they're very unheard of by most people, even me. Some of them I discover later on, like the fact that somebody wrote a book about extraterrestrial, like defense against alien abduction, and a lot of the things that they said, like 6 out of 9, like 6 of the the ways that I talked about warding off extraterrestrial alien abduction attacks, 6 of them line up exactly with that book about self-defense against alien abduction, or whatever the book was called. I actually downloaded it on the Nook app, but I'm not going to look at it now because I'm feeling rather lazy that way too. But overall, I'll figure it out. And again, this is another test. Me talking here for almost an hour is just to see how the equipment works. I'm going to listen back to this in a little bit and see how it came out. And I'm also going to go do a microphone check with the different mics that I have, plugging them in and unplugging them so that you can see how they sound differently. So first I'm going to start completely unplugged, unwired, no cables, and then give a little talk about that. Then I'll plug in the various, at least 3 different mics that I have, and maybe I'll even fire up the Beats Solo 3 and see what that sounds like. So I'm going to test different mics and see which ones are the best. And then when I finally get back over to Call-In and Wisdom, then I'll test the mics over there as well. But for now, I got a solid gear check over here, just by the fact that I recorded this. So we'll see how it turns out. But I really would like to make it so that that I have a nice universal piece of equipment that's hands-free, maybe even has a boom mic. Well, I really like the boom mics. It makes me feel special. It makes me feel cool to have the boom sticking out there on one side, looking like I'm a pilot or something like that. So that'll work. Anyway, there's about 2 minutes and 50 seconds left of this audio, so ride out with that. I'm going to get ready and do some. I'm either going to go to sleep right now and take a nap, or do another recording and test those mics. So you've been listening to, what show is this? Oh, you've been listening to Wisdom Top Mentor Interviews, presented by Hakeem-Ali-Bocas-Alexander on Spreaker Social Podcasting, presented for Wisdom Top Mentor Interviews. And really, who else do I post this for except for myself? So, for Wisdom Top Mentor Interviews in association with UniquilibriuM.